And now it's time for another episode of What You Sipping On with local beer connoisseur Matt Stroh.
Alright guys, what's going on? This week there is not an actual episode of Monstrosity because for one reason or another, all of us couldn't get together, which is super awkward and kind of sucks. So guess what that means? Like the intro, that means that I get to do my own special little episode. And basically, it's just going to be what you sipping on. There is no feedback from either Juice or Fern, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But hopefully they listen to this and complain about it later. But basically, what am I sipping on this week? This week I have a nice Wry Rye Double India IPA. It is from a company called Noble Brewer. I don't actually know if I've ever done anything about Noble Brewer before, but basically Noble Brewer is a subscription beer club, sort of. Basically what they do is they source different types of beer from various homebrew competition winners. So these are beers that people have been entering into competitions outside of, mass breweries, so it's not made by anything like Stone or Sam Adams or blah, 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 blah. These are generally made by people, regular, everyday people like you and or me. But basically they enter them into contests and then submit them to Noble Brewer. Noble Brewer's like, oh my god, we like this one, we're going to use it for our next month one or whatever. And they send you between 4 and 8 different beers, all depending on how much money you paid. Now I think their things are weird and they kind of changed everything, but otherwise it's a pretty cool company. They send you 22s, and this is one that I quite enjoy. It's by Adam and Ryan from Los Angeles, California. It's called Wry Rye Imperial India Pale Ale, also known as a double IPA or just an Imperial IPA. The ABV of this wonderful beverage is 7.8%. That is very, well, not very high, but rather high in the grand scope of things, with an IBU, that is International Bitter Units, of 84. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. IBUs generally mean nothing at all, just how bitter the perceived flavor might be, but generally blah 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 doesn't mean shit. But basically what's different about this is they use rye as one of the ingredients, which is why it is a rye IPA. What does that do to the Imperial IPA? Basically it just makes it slightly drier than what it normally would be. Otherwise it's made exactly like a regular IPA, which use some base malt, usually like 2-row malt, some caramel malt, probably 20 Lovabond, blah 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 blah. No one really fucking cares. I sure as fuck don't. But basically it comes out with a nice beer. When it's poured, it has a nice little head that easily dissipates very quickly. It gives you some nice lacing on the glass, and it's kind of like an amber color, like an off amber. You can see through it, very clear. Wonderful. What does that mean? Basically, the beer comes out well, which is what I would assume from a beer that is mass-produced, but based off a recipe that homebrewers made. Blah, 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 blah. Adam and Ryan, they give you a little background on everyone. One's a cinematographer, another person is a blah, blah, blah. No one really cares. They come together, they made this beer. Very citrusy, very dry. You can taste a little bit of the rye, which, if you don't know what rye tastes like, it basically just tastes like, I don't know, like rye bread. Yeah, rye bread. Very dry in the end. Kind of almost unpleasant on the rye, personally. But whatever. It's not the worst thing I've ever had. I enjoy it. Fern and Juice. Let's see. Fern would probably be like, man, get me, it's okay, man. And just be like, man, this shit sucks, man. But you know what? I can get drunk off it, so I'm fine. I'm just kidding, guys. If you actually end up listening to this, you guys might like it. Juice, though, I feel like you might have an issue with it. It would probably be like one of those ones that we've had before where you're like, yeah, no, this isn't the best thing you've brought us, but it's definitely not the worst. Personally, I give this like a 3. It's drinkable, gets you drunk, and it's interesting. Not the best thing I've ever had from Noble Brewer. Of course, the best one would have to be a chocolate porter that they gave me. Delightful, tasted like liquid chocolate. But overall, what would I give this? I would give this a... I don't entirely know what that is, but as I said, I give it a 3. That's actually all I have for this. Sorry. Maybe you wasted your time listening to this. Maybe you didn't. I don't fucking care. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, this has been Monstrosity. What you sipping on? Until next time, this nice 6-7 minute episode should tide you over until we actually do a full show.